Hey yo, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm gonna be judging one of my homies debate, Electric vs Justin. For the people that don't know, I do have a Discord server, Tiger Sage Army. The link for it will be in the description. Make sure to go join that. This was one of the matches in the tournament that I'm hosting, and obviously that I'm in. I couldn't make it for this one, so my homie recorded it. He wanted me to judge it, so that's what I'm gonna do now. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the show, and yeah, let's get started.
Okay, so my premise is Neji beats Sasuke, and why do you think Sasuke beats Neji?
Because
Yeah, so if you guys can't see it, just in case, so obviously it's gonna be tuning exam Sasuke versus tuning exams Neji. Justin has Neji, Electric has Sasuke.
Sasuke is just faster and stronger.
Okay, why do you think he's faster and stronger? Can you present why?
Because he should scale above
Above who?
above Neji.
Above Neji? Okay, should you show this? Like, what's your argument?
You want me to get into my scaling?
Yes, please.
Sure. I'll type it out. I'll type it out on scans one. Um,
I think the airtiger just left his like PC or something on because he's probably asleep or something.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna lie, I think this is like around 6 o'clock if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I was legit just eating dinner. I didn't even realize. I told him to start like around 7 o'clock, but it's whatever. I can just judge it now.
So Sasuke should scale above like fifth scale lead based on the
Okay,
data book scan strongest opponent. You fine with that?
can you show this databook scan? Like, can you get into Sasuke being above fifth gate lead?
Sure, I could get into it. I can get this kid.
To that. Oh, I should have pinged James daily. Alright, so let me see if on before like we like really.
I'll post it now. It's like really blurry, sorry. But here. Gaara, who had found himself at a disadvantage during his fight with his strongest opponent, Sasuke. This clearly states that Sasuke is his strongest opponent, and he just fought uh,
Uh,
Lee after this. Before this, sorry.
uh, why would this? Should I accept this databook scan? Because like, Do you think the databooks are canon to the manga or canon to themselves?
I think the data books just. Uh,
Hold up, did this man really just ask if the data books are canon to the yo? That's kind of ratting, yo. That's like mad rat. Oh, I don't like yo. I don't know. I'm looking forward to this debate, man.
give extra context in this case to what was happening.
What doesn't that doesn't answer my question? Do you think it's canon to the manga or to themselves?
What do you mean by that?
Like, would it be canon to the manga as in the Naruto storyline, or would it just be canon to themselves?
I think it would just be canon to the Naruto storyline.
Okay, so the manga. If it's canon to the manga, it would just be contradictory of itself because this
Why?
is never stated in the manga. If it's like, because you just
Just
said
because it's not
this,
stated in the manga doesn't mean it's contradicted.
I believe it would be.
Okay, you could say why.
And the reason why I believe it would be is if they're canon to each other and they're intertwined with each other, would this be considered secondary or primary? This data book source it would be considered secondary, right?
Mm-hmm. It's
And
also shown by like feats as well. Sasuke is
no,
much better
no,
against
no.
Gaara
I
than he
okay.
did.
Then can you show these feats?
Yeah, like he was blitzing around Gaara, right? Multiple times, and this Gaara should be a lot stronger than the one who fought Lee.
Midgate's Lee also blitzed him. Can you show why Garu would be stronger?
Yep, I could do that. One moment.
Wait, is it? Hold up. Let me just ask this. Are you gonna bring up like that blood, hatred, and thing?
I'm gonna bring up. Sorry, I'm gonna bring up how blood amps him.
Oh, blood imps. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. You don't even have to
Okay.
present the answer.
Okay.
I'll just acknowledge the skins.
Okay.
So first things first, why would that be amping Gaara and not amping Shukaku? Because it even says in the primary source called the manga, it even says these crimson red blood tears are flowing and it makes the demon god stronger. This demon god is never in reference to Gaara. It's even consistent with the Naruto story that demon gods would always be in reference, for example, to a tailed beast. I mean, I believe that would only be amping Shukaku when this blood is
Sorry,
touching his.
where does it say it only amps Shikaku? Because from what I just heard, you said
I'm not saying
it amps
it only
Shikaku, but I never heard
Shukaku.
anything saying it only amps Shikaku and not
I'm
Gaara
saying
and
nothing. No,
Shikaku.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying nothing points towards it amping Gaara. Only points towards it amping Shukaku. Meaning you can't just say that it would be amping Gaara.
Huh? One moment.
I'm saying that it says it makes the demon god stronger. This demon
It
god is not in
literally says here.
reference.
I'll post it. I'll post it. I don't know why you said you know of the scan, and then it literally says right here. Uh, the
Are you
strength
talking
becoming
about the
God.
data book or the manga scan?
Yeah, the
Because I'm
data
talking
book.
about the manga.
I just say the data book would just
Why
say
should I accept this fan's
I would
translation? Like,
just
what
say
is?
I would
Why should I accept this data book scan?
listen. That it's fine to guard the blood amping Shikaku. I just say it also amps Gaara as well. So unless you could show me that it specifically only amps Shikaku, what you just presented just shows that it amps Shikaku. You never said it doesn't
Man,
amp
just adding
Gaara,
with that.
Why
and
Clicking
this
should I
just
buttons,
shows
going.
it amps Gaara. So
Why
I would
should
just
I
say this is
accept this?
just evidence on top of what you just said.
Why should I accept this fans translated data book scan?
Are you saying it's mistranslated?
We've already assessed that the same. No, I'll explain why this is also contradicted by the primary source. It
Oh,
only says that the demon god is amped when in reference to Sand Waterfall Funeral. This demon god, which I've already explained, which is why it would also be contradictory, which is
what?
another
Sorry,
reason.
repeat that?
In the manga, it says that this demon god gets stronger when
Here,
blood
just show me
is
that.
touched by.
Just show me that scan because you
Yeah,
keep
I
on
got you.
referencing it and I don't see it.
I got you.
Man, just being erratic, yo. That's being erratic, no cap. That's being erratic.
Here it is.
He would also if you want to mention this, he would also be stronger based off like how Shinobi gets stronger off fights. So
I mean, I don't believe so.
well, it's stated in the manga, not even the data
Can
book.
you show this? Can you show
I
this?
can show this. One
I
moment.
don't believe after every fight you get stronger. It's even contradicted. For
Well,
example,
one
Sage
moment. Let
Mode.
me just.
Hold
You
up.
want me to get the
No, let
scan
me
or
just
not?
give you. No,
You
let me just
want
give
me to
you.
get
Let
the
me.
scan? I'm
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
know
get the
exactly
scan,
what
and
you're
then
talking
you're gonna
about.
be
The
wrong
Killer
about
B
the fault.
statement,
One
right?
point.
The Killer B
Yes.
statement, right? I know. I'm acknowledging that skin. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Okay.
What I am saying, Electric, as I'm saying, this is even contradicted by further feats. For example, if that was the case in terms of speed, which is what we're arguing here, why is it stated that Sage Mode Naruto, for example, even after he fights, he has higher sensory abilities, meaning he can perceive abilities faster, perceive attacks faster than KCM1 Naruto?
Why
That
does
would just mean
okay?
that,
So
for
one
example, even if
second.
you do fight,
That makes
which
no
Sage Mode
sense.
we know. Hold up,
What
let
you
me
just
finish my.
said makes no
Let me
sense.
finish my. Let me finish my like
You
claim
asked me
on
a
it.
question. Can I answer your question?
I was going to add on like the criteria behind
Okay,
this
but if you
question.
ask me a question, let me answer before
Yeah,
you
it's
start
basically a
asking before you
rhetorical
start going to
question,
the point.
which I'm
Yeah.
then adding on criteria as to what I need with this question. You can't really
Okay.
answer a
Go
question
ahead.
without knowing what is needed to
I
answer.
already know what you're referring to, but you could continue.
Nah, you know what? You can just answer.
Okay. So I would just say that it just affects your strength and shit.
Hey, yo, what is this cap I see? Marlon beats airtiger no div. Oh, yo, I'm gonna debate him later tonight. No cap. I'm gonna upload that to YouTube. No cap.
In your stats, and I don't know how sensory, which is a hacks, in case of like stage mode, would
Sensory is a,
like increase.
nah. Sensory is not a hex. Sensory would just be your ability to sense.
Can you
This
show
ability
me?
to
Can you show me that
leave
sage
onto
mode
just.
sensory isn't a hack?
No, can you show me that Sage Mode
You,
sensory is a hex?
I don't
That's your
have to.
burden
It's
to
your
prove,
burden. No, it's
not
not.
my burden. I'll explain why it's your burden.
I no, I don't want to
You're
hear it.
the one who's
You
saying
just
no. Hold
said,
up, That's a negative claim. No, let me explain,
you
Electric.
just
Electric. I'm
said.
trying to explain why it's your burden. I said that this would not be a hex. It would just be your ability to sense. Why would it be a hex? That is your burden to prove.
Okay, let me explain why it's your burden. You said, quote unquote, uh, stage mode. I'm sorry, sensory is not a hack. So by you claiming that, you would have to prove it's not a hack because you claimed it isn't. It's not my burden; it's
What?
yours. You claimed it isn't a
Yo,
hack.
do you understand the
Yeah, you
difference
don't have
between
to
a
prove
negative
negative
claim?
I
claims.
have
Yeah,
to.
that's what I'm saying. Do you know the difference between a negative and a positive claim?
If you
If
claimed it's
I
not a
make a
hack,
negative
you have to prove it's
assertion,
not a hack.
it's not my burden to prove that.
You claimed it.
That's like
You
saying,
claimed
oh,
it.
that's like saying
But you
it's a
claimed it.
negative claim. Do you not understand what a negative claim is and a positive claim?
Sure, you could tell me the difference.
A positive claim is when you're putting something forward with no content against something. A negative claim would be putting forward something that is against something. For example, I'm saying the world isn't round. That's a negative claim. Someone is saying the world is round. They'd have to prove why it is round because I'm not making a claim that it is. I'm not making a claim that it's another shape, for example. I mean, it would be upon the other person, it would be another person's like burden to prove why it is round instead of why it isn't round.
Okay, so we could
I don't
leave
have to
that up to
present
the
proof as
judge.
to why it isn't round when you haven't presented any proof as to why it is round.
We could leave whether whose burden it is up to the judge.
I mean,
Okay.
historic. I don't even talk to me, bro. You literally, bro, historic.
Oh, don't focus on me. Focus your opponent, bro. Get your opponent down, all right?
I mean, bro,
No, focus on
I
your
was just about
opponent.
to
Don't
bring up
focus on me.
a couple of your
Focus on
feats.
your
We're not
opponent.
gonna
Don't
talk about that.
focus on me. Focus on your opponent, okay? Get your opponent down, all right?
Anyways,
He's on me. I negged you last night and I had you crying. What are you talking about? I literally had you crying and now wanting to debate me
Bro,
again.
shut up.
Think
What's wrong
about
with
that.
you?
Marlon, no one's
Marlon,
talking to you, bro. Like, no
Why
one's
are you
talking to you.
speaking like
You're
you're just
just,
Marlon,
debating? Shut the
no
Marlon,
one,
chill,
no
chill,
one cares what you
chill,
have to say.
chill. Both, all of you,
Watch your
chill.
mouth.
Okay,
I'll violate you right
electric. We
now.
can move on from this point.
okay, so you want to go back to
So
the point?
let me. No, we're not going back. You just
That's what
agreed to move on, and now you're saying, can we go
I
back
didn't
so we
agree to
can go
move
back?
on. I said, can we
Okay,
go back
you
to the
said
point?
okay.
Yeah, they better just conclude this point, to be honest. I don't even see the point of this. Honestly, it's kind of dumb. It's like an irrelevant point, in my opinion.
I said, okay, can
You know what? I'll
what do
allow
you,
you
I
to.
didn't let me, I didn't even
I
let me
said
finish.
okay. I said okay. I'll allow you to, even though I believe you agreed. It doesn't matter. We can
Okay,
just go back.
so you said that just, okay, let me scroll back up to the scan 1 second. Let me reread this. It's quick and painless. Okay, so why does it say it doesn't grant Gara strength? I don't see it says only grants the demon god strength. It just says it grants him strength. So I don't see why it just can't give both
I
strengths.
said that this manga scan, which was we've already agreed is a primary source, contradicts the amping Gara. First things
How does this
first. What I
contradict? How
said
does this
was,
contradict it?
That's what I was. That's exactly what I was about to explain. Since
Okay, you
we
can
are
explain
going
it.
back to a past point, even though we moved on, I don't really care.
You can
My
explain it.
explanation was, it specifically says that when this sand waterfall funeral happens, it grants strength to the demon god. And I said, if this databook scan, which we've agreed is secondary to the manga, says that it grants strength to Gara, that would be contradictory of itself since you agreed that the databooks are canon to the manga. And if it's canon to the manga, and the manga contradicts the same secondary canon, it would just be dismissed.
Okay, so now you're not understanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying right now is that this is not contradictory evidence, and it could boost both. Sorry, it could amp both Gara and Shikaku. It never says it only grants Shikaku power. It just says it grants him power. So it could just refer to it grants him power and it also grants me power. Anyways, so just because it only
Come
says it
on, I
grants.
remember my argument against that.
Yeah, your argument against that doesn't if you don't even argue why. Like, can you say why it's only referring to Shikaku and can't be also referring to Gara?
I already,
You can
that was
repeat it
not
because
the
I didn't hear it.
entirety of my.
Like, you could say why in this, why Gar is saying here means it's only referring to Shikaku, not just referring to Shikaku in general, and also could be referring to himself. Like, why is this only referring to Shikaku? Hello? Oh, you left.
He asked if he can. Just make Michael's do it.
Electric.
Yep. So
First
I'd
things
like you to
first. My
answer
initial,
please
my
now.
initial, my initial argument was, why should I accept databook scans? Second
We
argument
moved on
was,
past that. Now, can you please answer my
we
question?
moved on past that. We
Can
literally
we
just went back to a point,
please?
even though you agreed to move on. Now you're trying to say we moved on
Can
past
we
that.
please answer my question I'm asking instead
That's
of
what I'm
like?
answering. The question about what was your argument? Can you re-explain it for me?
Okay, so I'll restate the question. Please don't like say another point or go off topic. Okay.
I'm not going off
Now,
topic to another
now,
point. You just asked
okay.
me
Do you
to
want me to
repeat my
repeat what I
argument.
asked or not?
Since you did not
Can
hear
you
the
please
entirety of
not
my
talk over
argument,
me and let me finish
I'm
what I'm
not
saying?
talking over you.
Okay. So what I said is, can
You
you?
asked me a question
Okay, come on.
about what was my argument, and I'm answering that question. So let me answer it.
I'm going to restate the question because I don't think you heard it clearly.
There's no need to,
So,
but okay.
so what I asked is, why is this scan saying bestowing even ever greater power upon Shikaku? Why is this only referring to Shikaku? Why can't just be referring to Shikaku and Gaara? So go ahead and say why this is
First,
only referring to him.
first things first, I said this. Nothing points towards it being in reference to Gaara. Nothing but this databook scan, which I've already proved, in my opinion, until we leave that up to judgment,
Okay, so we can
is
leave that to
contradictory of
judgment
the
because we're
primary
just going in
source.
circles now.
Meaning, it would still be dismissed. That's what I've been saying this entire time.
We
It
can leave
was
it up to
irrelevant
the
to go back
judgment
to this
because I
point.
feel like I
Okay,
already
so can we
said
move
why
on?
this isn't only referring to Shikaku, but we can leave this up
Okay,
to judgment.
you just give your
So
conclusion.
what? Yeah, let's move on.
Let's just give your conclusions to explain the entirety of our argument.
Okay, so you want to move on to back to the sensory thing?
Fine.
Okay, so not sorry, not to the sensory thing, but to the fight amp you. So you said fight doesn't amp you because Sage mode is sensory is better than KCM. Is that what you said, Da?
No, here's what I said. I said, for example, this statement is kind of contradictory of itself. This statement is in reference to Naruto and how when you fight or compared to training, you will advance more in terms of strength.
I'll read
And we
what the
see,
statement
and
says.
then we see, and then we see that this same Naruto that it's in reference to is actually stronger in the past in a certain form that is weaker than KCM1 in terms of one aspect, which is the aspect that we are arguing about called speed. He has higher perception abilities in Sage mode in comparison to KCM1, which is why I just believe that
So
this statement
I would
would
just
not be
say,
applicable to every
listen,
situation, which is why you would have to prove it's applicable
I would just say that the
to this
sensory and
situation with Sasuke and Gaara.
I would just say that the sensory and sage mode is different than the one in KCM because we know KCM just grants emotional like sensory where it can sense emotions, and sage mode grants like more like open, I guess you could say, sage mode sensory where it specifically like senses for a person and shit. And I would just say
What?
that sensory is more useful in this
Wait.
situation. Because
What?
the KCM sensory and Sage Mode sensory is different. What Naruto wanted in that scene is to know when the Raikage is about to hit him and dodge the attack and reflect the Raikage's attack, okay? And KCM sensory is not the same sensory as Sage Mode's, where KCM just senses emotions and Sage Mode senses the whole area and exactly where someone is. So I
So
would just say
first,
that Sage Mode sensory is fitted more into that scene, and its sensory is better in Sage Mode sensory.
electric.
What?
Electric. Let me explain this. First things first, you're wrong. When talking about perception, which
Okay, so
KCM1,
can I just
oh,
give more feet to show why this statement is
You
true?
stopped. I started to speak. You cut me off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I was saying, electric, was first things first. Their perception truly isn't different, especially when in reference to combat. Sage mode uses his perception to dodge, for example, pain attacks. KCM1 uses his perception abilities to try to dodge the Raikage. In that sense,
What?
both of their goals, both of their objectives,
What?
is to try to use their
No, 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 no,
perception
no.
and their
He
combat
used Sage
speed
Mode to
to
dodge
dodge an
Raikage at the
attack.
end.
That would not
What are you
mean
talking about?
that would not prove any of your arguments as to in rebuttal to mine as to why
I am
their
so
perceptions
okay,
would be
listen.
different and why that wouldn't dismiss your
I
claim
just
about
said
the killer
why
bee statement. Like,
I
what was
just
your
said
argument
why
even
it's
about? Like,
different,
what
and
did it prove?
I'll just argue attacks based off the multiple statements that support this evidence and feats that support this evidence. That you get stronger off fights. Okay? Is that okay? Is that fine? Because if
I
I
told
just
you.
leave this point up to the judge, then
Yeah,
I'll
you
just
can
say
do
that
that. You can do
enough
that.
of it. So
No, you can do that. Go ahead.
okay, so I'll just bring up Naruto at the end of the series. So when he's fighting Madara, he's pretty much like relative to Madara. Like Madara's limbo is like knocking him back, and he's like reacting to them. And then Kaguya comes its statement saying like there's a whole Ten Tails amp on top of Madara, and like she is so much stronger than Madara. And then Naruto is going fist to fist with the same Kaguya. So I would just say that like based off his fight with
Wait,
what's his
why
face?
is
Based off
Kaguya
his
stronger
fight
than
with
uh,
can I finish? Can I finish? Okay, so what I'm saying is based off his fight with Madara, he clearly got stronger off of that because it was a much stronger opponent he's still relative to. So you just get stronger off the fights, right?
first thing first? I'm gonna say this again. I told you, even in some situations, this statement is right. Why would it apply to this situation? Can you prove this with Garu? What hints towards him being stronger? Because the only difference we see between the
You
time
said
skip
it only
of
works
the
in
Lee
some
fight and the
situations.
Sasuke fight. No, you're wrong. The only difference we see is him getting blitzed by Lee and Sasuke. We don't see any inference in him getting stronger.
One moment.
Besides, once we go into the Konoha Crush arc and he amps himself with the QB chakra and all that, we don't see any inference that would mean that this statement could apply to this fight as to why he got stronger. I've already given you an example of this
Yeah, and
statement not
I'm
being
arguing
applicable
that
to
the
a certain aspect.
example. Are you not listening to what I'm arguing? I'm
No, I
arguing
am, and I'm
that the
telling you that you need
example
to prove it applies
is
to this situation.
contradicted because, like, I said it's hacks, and then I said it's hacks because of the countless feats and statements that support this example and not yours, okay? And then I also went on to the point about the sensory is different and shit,
We can
and
move
we left
on.
both of them up to the judge, okay?
No, we can
Yeah,
move
we
on.
can move on. So
Okay,
then,
can you say your
again,
conclusion now?
so,
Can you say your conclusion now?
hmm?
Can you say your conclusion?
Currently, where I'm at was like around 20 minutes. I feel like Justin is doing better analytically, but I feel like Electric is doing better when it comes down to evidence and proving his points with better examples. I just find that like Justin is just kind of arguing a little bit better, to be completely honest, where we are like currently. And just for common sense, I'm gonna say my judgment at the very end when they're done speaking.
Conclusion, because
On
you
the
didn't get
point.
my argument at all. You can say your conclusion.
On the point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I showed why not only is the sensory in KCM and Sage Mode is different and useful in different situations, but I also showed he already knows of the statement I'm referring to, and I showed a feat, an example of characters getting stronger after fights.
Okay. So basically, my argument was that yeah, I acknowledge this killer bee statement, but why would it apply to this situation? I basically said, yeah, we can see in some instances they do get stronger after fights, but we can see in some instances that they do not get stronger. For example, KCM on Naruto has slower perception abilities in comparison to Sage Mode Naruto. He even states this himself when he says, "My perception is far greater." And basically, what I was saying was, if we can see that his speed, which is the topic we are arguing about right now, does not get stronger even after past fights in comparison to KCM1, and his speed is actually slower, why would it apply to this specific situation? As I showed evidence of fights happening where he does not get stronger in the future, you have to prove it applies to this situation as it sometimes does apply, and sometimes it doesn't. Basically, he never actually did prove this, so I believe his argument should just be dismissed. He didn't really prove anything with his arguments, and his arguments were just completely irrelevant. So
So now
I'm
we
done.
both gave our conclusions. So what do you mean? You said it's all. You gave an example of
Yeah.
someone. Like I don't even understand how your example. Like I gave an example of someone fighting someone, and then their stats boosted after the fight, and you just gave an example of sensory specifically. And there's even statements
Oh,
saying KCM1 is stronger in Sage mode, but I don't see like why that's actually contradicting anything.
I told you, Naruto himself contradicts this and says
Yeah, he
Sage mode
said
has higher perception abilities. I told you
specifically
perception
his
is the
sensory.
ability to sense, and you use this perception, this ability to sense, to try to
Okay,
dodge
did
things.
you?
If
Okay,
you can't
so
perceive things, you can't. If you can't, like, you can't use your perception to see or perceive things. You can't dodge them unless you have some type of passive hex.
no, he just
Which
wanted
is
the
why
sensory because
this would
his
not be
sensory
a
is
hex, but
better
you never
than
proved it was a
KCM.
hex earlier in the point.
I did. I argued it was a hack. You did not hear me. I clearly because I did
No, you
argue it was
didn't.
a hack, and then I gave
Your
reasons why it
arguments
was
were
a
like
hack.
completely irrelevant. I barely had anything to refute.
Okay, so we can move on. What
But yeah.
was okay? So what other contentions you have? So wait. So assuming so on the basis that the judge said like agreed with my points, we already have what's my initial scaling? Why is so many people chatting in this game's chat? Uh, yeah. So we already got Sasuke
Hold on.
as
Am I judging?
Who?
hmm?
Chion? No.
Somebody said that I was judging.
No, you're not. No.
So
Okay,
I'll just
good.
send you the recording.
Why is fifth gates Lee above Neji?
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
it. Like,
Okay.
or like or why is he
Yep.
like on higher end of relativeness to Neji?
Yep. One moment. Let me. I hope I have the scan. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure.
Nah, I think it'd just be easier. Let's go like point by point as the video just plays out. So basically, on this point, when he's trying to state that what's called Electric has to state that he gets stronger every fight based on the B statement. Justin clearly acknowledges it, and then he contests that point. He brought up the example of like what's called the Sage mode sensory, and then what's called Electric had to rebuttal that with the statement of KCM1 being stronger, and then Justin explained that he rebutted it with like this the sensory, and he did explain. I think he just argued that way better. I think his rhetoric was better. Even if I agree more with Electric on that case, I'm gonna give that point to Justin. I feel like he honestly just did better on that point overall. Yeah, we can continue with this debate. No.
You know of it, but I'll still see if I have it.
I,
So.
like, are you gonna go off the Neji's like the Lee statement before time skip? Oh, I was supposed to use this to beat Neji.
Mhm.
Okay, I understand. You are aware
Let me just
that
post it so
Neji
you
gets
know of the
stronger.
scans.
No, okay, yeah, you can post it. You are aware
Okay.
Neji gets stronger over the time skip, so this statement would not be applicable to time post time skip Neji. So like that
Why
wouldn't
does
prove
Neji get
anything
stronger
in terms
over
of the
time
Neji
skip?
I'm be using. Well, we can see he has greater feats, such as he scales relative to QBM Naruto. He reacts to him casually. He even clashes with them,
Okay, so why
even when
does
he's off.
where does
React to
QBM
him.
Naruto scale? How does QBM Naruto debunk this?
How did QBM Naruto? Well, for example, this same QBM Naruto, in Count Hall Crush art, he beats Gara. He scales to a part 2 Gara, part 1 transform Gara, which would just bag skill to tuning exams Naruto.
Whoa, what?
QBM.
He never fights
This same
QB. No, no,
Gara,
no, no, no,
the
no. I would just say
QBM Naruto never fights. Hold up. Did you just say QBM Naruto never fights Gara?
I don't think he wasn't QBM during his fight. I'm not sure.
Uh,
He was
unless I'm
mentally
confused.
amped. He was mentally amped.
Yeah,
Anyways,
so
Naruto was mentally
correct me
amped,
if
so
I'm
it wouldn't be the
wrong.
same Naruto, man.
But right after when they're in the forest, is he not in QB? Does he not go into QB mode or QB club?
He doesn't have a cloak around him.
No,
Look,
no,
okay, what
no.
chapter is it? You can show me.
No. He even his job. Oh shoot, yo, my phone's low.
What chapter is it? Fight? Can you show me him going in like a QB cloak, like even the eyes? Can you show me him ever QB amp? Anyways, I don't even need to argue that. He has a mental amp during that sequence
No,
anyway, so
no,
he
no,
would
no,
just
no.
be a
Let me
stronger
get it.
Naruto. And he also would get off stronger based off
Nah,
like his fight
hold up,
if especially if he
hold
wasn't
up.
trying.
Don't shotgun. Chill.
Wait, I'm not really sure.
No cap. One thing I just find funny about this is like he's trying to say that like you can't scale. This statement isn't valid because he gets stronger. He should have just used, like, I don't know if he does in the after this, but like literally after like this part of the tuning exam's done, like they literally stay everybody goes training for like a whole ass month. So like, hopefully he just brings that up, because then he can just skip over this point, because then that would just prove that he gets stronger, and this statement isn't like valid. Like he literally just needs to bring that up. Hopefully he does.
Shocking. I'm just saying all the reasons why this
I
Naruto
mean,
is not scaled to the one that's on Neji.
you're bringing up a new claim of mental amp while I'm trying to get a scan. Um, I swear he does go into QB amp. I sure. Do you know if he goes into QB cloak?
It doesn't even matter if he goes.
He doesn't activate the cloak until like he headbutts Gar, which is like the very end of the fight.
Nah, cap.
Okay, why'd you ask me if you didn't want the correct answer?
I'm playing chill.
Okay, so you could show me like why this mentally amp Naruto would scale to the same Naruto that fought Neji.
Why would it be a mental amp?
Because he literally. Okay, do you know what chapter it is? Like, you don't know what chapter?
That's like in the 130.
Which part of the fight?
Just when Naruto gets mentally amp 130.
He does go into.
I don't know when you're saying he gets the mental amp. I can't
Like
give
when
you that if I don't know
Sasuke is
when it
clashing
happens.
with Gaara, like the Chidori, Sasuke is just clashing with Gaara. Around there.
Naruto isn't there.
Yeah, I know, but it's right after. Naruto comes right after.
Oh, hold up. Actually, I don't even have to argue that.
Okay, 127. No, 132.
Hold up. I don't even have to argue that, to be honest. I don't even have to argue it's QB amp.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting off. Well,
Bro,
what is Naruto?
historic beef in general, bro. We can see. I'm just gonna use this until I can find that skin. Anyways, we can see him just directly hit
One
partially.
moment. Let me get this scan first.
This was a base Naruto in comparison to QBM Naruto, which Neji was clashing with.
One moment. I'm not paying attention to what you're saying. Give me a second here. I'm trying to find
Well, I literally just need to show you the scan of him about to like train with
like he has a
10
whole
10 or whatever. I'm
flashback
pretty
here.
sure.
Flashback.
Like a whole month
What?
passes.
What are you talking about?
Like a whole ass month passes, and everybody trains during that month. Like I don't think you should have just brought up that point. I feel like this point could have been just done in like 30 seconds, and then that statement wouldn't make any sense. You just brought up that like this is a whole month later when he fights like Naruto. Like everybody gets stronger during this month.
Naruto, he has a whole flashback, and then what does he say?
He is a whole flashback. Why does that flashback mean he's mentally ill?
Anyone have the statement where he's like, "Oh, where did I get all this power from?" Like it's clearly like
He's surprised about acute. Hold up. He's surprised about power all the time. What does that mean? It's a mental amp. He has newly founded power a lot of times. That does not mean it's always a mental amp.
Okay, but if he has newly founded, okay, it doesn't even matter if. He... Oh no, let me just find this.
Bro, why? I need to reread chapter 1, part 1. No type of knowledge.
Man, what is it?
And by the way, okay, I know what you're talking about. That's after the scan I've already shown of him like clashing with Gaara.
Okay, one moment. Yeah, so we literally see Naruto have like a shit ton of flashbacks, and then literally he stares at Sakura like he's trying to save Sakura, and we know like when you're trying to protect someone you love,
Nah,
whatever.
trying to protect someone doesn't automatically mean you're mentally amped.
It's stated.
It's stated. I mean, can you prove it applies to all situations?
I would say it applies to
Because
this
by that
situation.
logic, almost everybody in the like 90% of the times he fights, he's mentally amped.
Why is he always protecting someone he loves 99% of the time? It's different.
So throwing that number. Let's just say 1% of the time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean he's always mentally amped. Can you prove why it would always mean that? Just because you're protecting someone, why does that mean you're always mentally amped? Like, can you show this statement?
Yeah, I can. Hold on.
Oh, that's Justin.
Who said that? I mean, I suck.
Oh no.
I suck at inverse Naruto. I need to get better at it.
No, you just suck in general.
Mom, debate me on my best topic.
I agree.
I literally beat you crosswords.
Aaron is not my best topic. That is not my best topic. I even told you myself that
What's
is a
your
win.
best topic?
Yo, what's your best
My
crossword
best
topic?
topic. It would be like Calm
Dang.
Naruto versus and Crosswords versus like
I'll take Saitama. You can have Naruto.
Okay. No, I posted it.
that's before. Hold up.
Do you want to do that after Justin?
You're just gonna concede. What's the point?
One of y'all niggas concede, man. Shit.
Oh my god.
And then shit too long, bro.
That's. I mean, that boy. He's eventually going to. His arguments are kind of weird.
Yo, you see the statement? Just literally said that.
That's
Shinobi
before.
become
That's
as-
after. Hold up. That's after the scan I've already shown of him clashing with Part One Gara.
Doesn't even matter. He was. Why would this matter? He was still protecting someone. The statement in general says when they're trying to protect someone they love, and he's trying to protect Sakura.
Yeah, but we can see
Even
in this
before
instance
this.
with
Even before
Naruto,
this.
when he mentions, when he mentions this statement, we can see a visual amp when he gets mentally amped of this chakra going around him in a ball. This does not happen in the
This
scan
is
I'm
when he's
showing.
getting the
It's
QB
contradictory of
chakra
itself
to
because
summon
when
the
we
toad.
see him enter this mental amp and
Sorry,
reference this statement, we can see a visual
second,
amp
let me
of this
grab it.
chakra. Why would that apply to this situation of the scan I said?
Let me grab where the scan actually takes place. I'm pretty sure this is him just the chakra on him is just him using the QB chakra to summon the toad. To get some Gambuto, sorry.
Bro, why isn't famous a generation of miracles? Oh, never mind.
The word is not infamous.
Ooh, no, wait, we go, oh, we go,
Wait, what were you arguing before? Sorry. Why wouldn't
I was
this be
arguing
mental amp?
wouldn't apply to this situation because when we see him reference this mental amp statement, he gets a visual amp as well, where we can see a ball chakra going around him. Meaning, if this same instance does not happen in the scan I'm sending, it would just be contradictory of it being a mental amp. So
So
it
I would
wouldn't
just
be.
say you had a mental amp before as well, and you just had a bigger mental amp here, or something.
Can you prove that?
Yeah, he's protecting someone he loves, or is
Oh,
precious. Sorry.
because you didn't just hear you didn't hear my argument. You obviously didn't.
Yeah,
You
you
just
said visual shit goes around him, what yada yada. I would
okay,
say
yeah,
that it
and we
only
can move on.
happens when they're getting like in a few select situations. Because
We can move.
I think Naruto in this situation, this is the only time a visual actually chakra goes around him, and he's summoning a bunch of shadow clones in this instance. So I just say he's like focusing all his chakra, and then he's like focusing so much chakra that it's just going
No,
around him.
he's not. He's just
Because
gathering
we
all
know
his.
like characters get amps, mental amps,
They can
and they don't
truly
get
become.
any visual shit around them.
Meaning he's trying to become stronger via mental imp, and when he tries to go into the mental amp, he's just gathering chakra around him, which is stronger because of this mental amp. It has nothing to do with the shadow clones.
Yeah,
It
so
has no
Nonsense.
to these shadow clones. With these shadow clones.
he summons like 2,000 shadow clones or whatever. I'm not gonna claim how much it is. That's an exaggeration. Even if he doesn't. But anyways, he summons a shit ton of shadow clones. So I
Okay.
just say he's bottling up his chakra, similar to the Rasengan, and it became visible.
Hold up.
So I don't see why that can't be the case.
We see him summon shadow clones earlier. I mean, after in the series, his
You see him
visual
summon
amp
this
does
much
not
shadow
like
clones?
nothing. The only thing that would pertain to the shadow clones would be the sign, the jutsu sign, not the visual chakra ball.
Like there's clearly statements of like
Nah,
Naruto
we can
like
move on.
telling Gaara to like put their hands off like Sakura and shit. Like it's clearly demonstrated that like
That is
Naruto knows that
after
game.
my scan shown.
And then when did your scan? No, it's not. When did? Wait, let me see your
Do you
scan.
understand that's literally his entrance into the forest fight? Literally
Oh,
one of
you're
the
saying okay? I'll just argue Gar was off guard there
Gaara's off guard. Why?
because he was focused on Sasuke.
Then I mean, Naruto was running right at him. He's running at him in a straight line. What is that? Why does that pertain to him being off guard or
In a
surprised?
straight line. No, he comes from the side.
No, he doesn't.
Either way, he's focused solely on Sasuke and nothing else. So I'll just say he's not focused on his surrounding. He has tunnel vision here.
I mean, can you prove he's focused solely on Sasuke?
Yeah, we see he's like addicted to Sasuke and like he really
Addicted?
wants to kill
What do you mean
Sasuke.
by addicted?
Addicted means like he's really wants to kill Sasuke. And like
Why would that prove anything I just asked you? Like,
because
why would
he
that answer my
he
question?
wants to kill Sasuke, so he's focused on Sasuke in this instance, and Naruto got him when he's off guard.
Why, bro? Hold up. Let me get the scans before
Or
that.
I'll just argue that Naruto is protecting Sasuke, so he got a mental imp.
Bro, you already argued that.
Yeah, I'll just argue you got a mental imp before this as well.
Oh my god. There's nothing pointing towards him having a mental imp
Yeah,
before
he's
this.
blitzing someone who's stronger than him.
I've already addressed your argument on that. You've already argued this. We're just going circular now.
This
Can
guy
we
should
please move
scale above
on?
Neji, which you said scales in. Okay, we could just go on another reason why Naruto should be stronger, based off like his fight amp. And this is like at this point we're assuming right now at this point we're assuming I already won the previous point. Listen, right now we're assuming I already won the previous point.
Why should we assume you are? Why should we assume that you
Because
did?
then my scaling wouldn't be a thing then if we didn't assume that. Then it would just be like
Electric athlete.
we have to go on the basis that I won.
Okay, we can just hypothetically assume that. Then we can hear our judgment.
And
please move on now. I've already addressed all your arguments, and now you're trying to go back and make this a circular debate.
So then no, this was your point about debunking.
This was my point, but we moved on from my point, and now we're trying to go back to my point. Okay, and even though I want to move on from my own point.
Man, I'm just gonna repost my initial skill. It's way too far up.
Like, hold up, Dead Boy, you guys have a debate you need to do, right? Because I'm trying to actually hear this of or someone.
Nigga, what? No, I just want y'all to hurry up. I guess niggas want to debate you afterwards. I want y'all to hurry up.
Bro, Mangum sucks. I'll slap him. No point in me watching. He's gonna concede.
This nigga conceded to me yesterday.
Cap, that is
yesterday.
Yesterday, bro. Yesterday.
Lies.
What did you say?
Lies.
Is that Jay? Bro, who's that talking?
Alright, I concede, bro. I concede. GG's.
Shut up.
Little baby talking.
Alright,
Nigga, shut up.
what? I just said thank you for saying who you. What? What's wrong with you? I just said thank you for answering me. Bro, why you
my brother? You act like you're the only person I'm talking to.
Okay, electric.
How was I supposed to know you were talking to somebody else if I didn't hear any other voice?
Everyone's spurting and
Why don't you just make the assumption I was talking to you?
Because I didn't hear any other voice.
I see you guys are not about to debate in our debate, bro. Chill. I know he is. I don't even know who you're talking to. Just chill.
Why would you assume I'm talking to you?
Nah, I'm about to start serving meeting, bro. Be quiet.
Shut up. Go die.
Chill.
This is why I always do private debates.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, so we could go back on the point of like Sasuke.
No, I don't want to go back. The reason this debate has been like an hour long already. Bro, you just said we can go back, and now you're saying that we are on that point.
Well, we were just covering.
How does that make any sense?
Okay, so if we look at the scaling I just reposted, we already went past the Sasuke above 5th gate bleeds. Okay, let me pull
Bro, can we please just move on? I've already addressed all your arguments.
And now we're on 5th gate Lee above relative to Neji, right?
That's literally what we've been arguing for the last 30 minutes.
Okay, so then what? Okay, so we want to just move off
So
the
then we
scaling?
should move on to my scaling.
Okay, so we want to conclude the scaling then?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, you could conclude first since I conclude first.
So first things first, he was trying to argue that fifth grade Lee was higher in relative to Neji, and I asked why, and he said, well, he's Neji pre time skip shows that says like it feels inferior to Lee, and basically what I was saying was first this statement would not this like inferiorness or would not be applicable to post time skip Neji. He never really addressed that or showed a scan against that. So like the start of this scaling was just
You
completely
never. Come on, man. You're bringing up shit that never even happened.
what?
That is
Oh,
not what happened.
Wait, hold on. What did
no,
you
no,
just say?
applicable to post time skip Neji. He never really addressed that or showed a scan against that. So like the start of this scaling was just
You
completely
never. Come on, man. You're bringing up shit that never even happened.
Yeah, that was like one of his main points is that he brought up that like you can't use that statement because like like it's what's called time has passed or whatever. That's what he brought up, and then he asked him to like what's called prove that he got stronger. That's why he brought up the entire Naruto amp thing. That's why you guys were arguing with the amp. But
what?
That is
Oh,
not
y'all
what
ain't listening
happened.
to your own
no. Anybody in this
What?
VC? Did I not say
What
that this was
happened?
a pre-time skip statement and that this would not be applicable
Yeah,
to
and then
post-time
you.
skip
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
we
Yeah,
You
you
see
said
said
that.
you
him have
claimed.
greater
No. What
feats,
happened?
which
What
is what
happened?
I was
Let me
about to
say what
lead
happened
on to
because
in
what
my
you're saying
conclusion
right
before
now
you
is
just
you're
interrupted
just
my
not
conclusion.
know what
Because I
happened.
was about to lead on to why post-time skip Neji was stronger.
Okay,
Because that
can
was
I
what
say what
you
actually
asked.
happened because I feel like you're strawmanning me here. Okay, so what actually happened is we went on to this whole Fisgate Lee relative or above Neji, and then he said this is referring to a weaker Neji, yada yada yada, and then he said this is because the Neji should scale above this Lee, and then he went in the whole Naruto mental am to Gara shit, and then I feel like since we left it up to the judge and are going off based on I won the point, I think we based off I won the point. Sorry, what am
And
I
my
even
conclusion
saying? No,
is
this is your
you
conclusion. No,
point
you know.
because
Okay, sorry. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Okay, so what you said is, what did you just say? I'm losing.
bro.
I'm losing.
Bro, what are y'all trying? Like, what is the problem?
I have
What are
no
y'all
idea.
trying to?
I'm literally losing.
Commenting it.
Bro, why don't they just go back in the recording and the judge can decide who's right?
That's what I'm
What?
saying.
No, I
We
was here. That's what I'm
recording.
like
If I
saying. Like,
fully
what's the
strawmanned you, the
issue?
judge will see. So let me finish my
Oh
conclusion.
yeah, what you said is that I claimed. You said that the burner proof to prove that this Neji is the same as the one that fought Naruto is.
Oh, that was
Yeah, you
not my
said
argument.
that, but you never said
If
that
you let me
actually.
finish my conclusion, I would have
What?
said what my argument was. That was 100% not my argument.
Okay, you could continue and finish your conclusion.
Basically, I said we can see he has greater feats in comparison to post time skip. As we can see, he's relative to QB Amp Naruto, and he has no feats before this that would scale to that. You never presented any feats that would scale to that. You just said
Okay,
why,
come. You never asked me for feats. What you
which was not
said.
my initial claim, and
Okay,
I
we
didn't really
just
have to.
have the recording then. What I recall you
So
saying
now,
is just
electric
saying
athlete.
Naruto is stronger because
Bro,
the
this is
Neji
literally conclusion.
Neji is
Why are
stronger
you
because he
interrupting?
should scale above.
Bro, this is literally my conclusion. Let me finish.
Okay. I'll let you finish as long as you start saying shit
I'm
that
not.
like I didn't say.
That was literally my argument, not your argument.
Whatever, man. Just
Okay,
finish your
and what I was basically saying was, since he didn't really provide any proof or feats that would scale to this, it would just conclude that Neji did get stronger. So this statement would not be applicable to post time skip Neji. That was my claim, was that this would. My initial claim was not really that this wouldn't about the Lee thing, his Lee skill. I just proved that this statement would just be dismissed in reference to the Neji that I would be using. So it's just irrelevant to the debate.
Okay, so I'll go on my
So
conclusion.
if I, like overall, he didn't really prove why this statement, which was the main basis of his scaling that he presented, would really like do anything. And then we went on to like pretty irrelevant points about in like QBM, Naruto, and Gaara, even though that was really my initial claim.
Okay, so I feel like so the conclusion on this point, my conclusion is I I I showed evidence to say why Neji this Lee should scale above Neji, and he never disregarded it at all. So I think I won that point. And then he mentioned how this Neji is different, and he said that the Neji that we're doing in this debate is different than the one in my scaling. And then he showed no reason why this is the case, and then went on his own little scaling of his own. And then I believe I debunked that scaling, showing why Naruto would have a mental imp in that scene, plus a fight imp. So I don't, and you never really asked me to show why Naruto, this Neji is the same as the one that we're debating, or I don't even feel like I have the burden to show why that is the case. Okay, so
was that what the Ashley? Is that what the issue was? Like, did you not remember his argument? Is that what the problem was?
I don't remember him saying at all.
Okay,
Anything
he said
at
they had
all.
a 1 month time skip. You said, why didn't Neji get stronger? He said, because he has higher feats. That's why I went into the QB amp Naruto scale.
Yeah,
When he
okay,
scaled
so then,
Naruto
and
to
then
Gaara.
so I'm just saying in the conclusion that I believe I debunked that, right? And I don't know
Okay,
what he,
no,
in
hold
his
on.
conclusion, he was saying that
Hold on. I'm not saying like you may not have tagged you. You just said like he didn't provide like anything for that at all. That's not true.
Yeah, no.
That's all I was saying.
What I heard him just say recently is that what I heard him say is that I didn't show any reason why this Neji is the same as the Neji that we're debating, which I don't believe. He actually
Electric
never asked
athlete.
me, and it's not
This
even
is this is my argument. First, my
I know
initial
what your
claim.
argument is. I just
Well,
don't
y'all can
remember
just
what he said in
continue.
his
No,
conclusion.
you
Yeah.
obviously do not.
It does not matter, Justine. Y'all can just continue. If he doesn't understand you, you don't have to like make him understand
Okay,
anymore. And if
I
he
won't
doesn't
break it down
understand
for
the
him again.
athlete, you don't have to make him understand anymore. Just continue and let the judge go.
Okay, so I believe
Okay, so we can move on to your scaling. You said
so
so. You want to go into like AP scaling or speed scaling or what? Hello. Hello. Can anyone hear me?
He gave up.
Oh.
hello.
Yep.
I think
Okay.
he said
So
sorry as well.
yeah. So can you go into your? Are you going into your AP or speed scaling, or into your just in general scale? Or what are you doing now?
Okay, so hold up. Let me try to get my scan. Uh, wait. Let me ask. I see. Do you have like the fan book statement of Neji being like the
No.
strongest like Genin?
The fan
No.
book.
Yeah.
I don't have the fan book statement. I have the Lee statement.
Oh, that's okay. I think I can win with that anyways.
Yeah. So I would just say that's contradicted based off my scaling, and that statement is just
Okay, if
that
you think it's
statement is just
contradictory based off your
and
scaling,
that
we
statement
can
is
move on.
referring.
No,
Okay, listen.
hold up.
That
Electric
statement.
athlete, let me attack your first claim.
Wait.
No, let me attack it. You're trying to make a second one.
Okay.
Electric athlete, if it's based off your scaling that you believe that statement is contradicted, then we can just move on from that point and
Yeah. No.
say
I
if
was
you
gonna
won your
ask a
point,
question because
then
I
that
wasn't.
fanbook statement will just be contradicted and dismissed. And if you lost that point,
Yeah.
you would have had
The
no counter
statement is
argument against it.
referring. The statement is literally before the time skip at all. So I would just be. This is literally a statement of like when Sasuke before he even gets the time skip and gets the month's
And
training
why does that matter?
because he clearly gets stronger and faster in this
Can
one.
you prove he gets stronger?
He learns the Chidori. What?
He learns. Why does he learning the
It
Shidori,
literally states that he was
which is a
training.
temporary
It
amp
literally
at one
states
point in time, matter in terms of just in general? Because
because he
Shidori amp,
trained. If
which we
he
know,
okay, listen.
hold up. Let
He
me
trained, so he
hold
would get
up.
stronger in
Athlete, I'm
speeds
not
because he
done.
was training his
I'm not
speed
done.
and
Athlete, I'm not done. We know to do the Shidori, especially in Chunin exams, he needs to back up. He needs to charge the chakra. Then he needs to run in a linear fashion to fully use this jutsu. Meaning, first he needs time to get this amp, and second, that wouldn't actually prove anything why just normal Sasuke would be stronger just because he learns Shidori, which is a
okay,
temporary
because
amp
he
which he needs to
trains.
charge
Okay, he
up
trains for a month. And I would
for
just say
Shidori, which I already explained would not
no. He
inherently mean
also
that
we
just
know he
normal
also trains
Sasuke.
his speed. So I don't know why. Can you tell
No,
me
I don't
why
think.
he
No.
doesn't train his
Why
speed?
does he train his speed?
We see it literally states that like he's gone a lot faster and he's as fast as like without his
Nah,
weights.
but are you aware that the people who make this statement have only seen a weakened, suppressed Sasuke? So like that wouldn't mean anything. That wouldn't contradict anything. They only see Sasuke who holds back because otherwise the curse mark will activate. And in the forest is literally weakened as he's
Listen,
continuously used chakra, and
listen.
he even goes into
When this statement is made,
curse mark state because he's
when
expended too much chakra.
when this statement is made, Sasuke was getting blitzed by Lee, and then Guy, after seeing Sasuke's speed after a time skip, is saying he's fast or as fast as weightlessly, which is faster than the one that blitzed Sasuke. So I don't see why
What?
this
Wait,
would
what?
okay. So in this stand, this is at the beginning of the tuning exams. This is this Lee then blitzes Sasuke and was about to do the Lotus or whatever. Doesn't matter if it wasn't a blitz, whatever. Then he gets a month's time skip, and then Guy says that he's as fast as weightlessly. And then weightlessly should be faster, much faster than the Lee in the scene because he has weights on in the scene. So then that would just scale
Why can he
this time
accurately
skip
no? Why
Sasuke
can he
much.
accurately weigh? Hold up. Why can he accurately weigh their speed? I
Huh?
don't believe he can. I don't believe he has any ability that would know or make an accurate statement as to why their speed would be the same.
Who? What? Guy makes the statement thing. He's been training Lee for a while.
That doesn't answer my question. My question is,
What's your question?
hello.
Yep. What's your
Hello.
question?
So basically, what I was saying was, why can Guy accurately weigh their exact speeds, especially Sasuke's? I know he's trained Lee,
Because
but that
Sasuke
doesn't
is
mean he can
watching
just
him
make a
fight.
proportionate,
Sorry, Guy is
accurate,
watching him fight right now.
like quantification on how fast they are. I just believe this is a thrown out statement and would just be dismissed as this is a knowledge claim, and he doesn't have that amount of knowledge on Sasuke.
So he's watching Sasuke blitz Gaara and then says this. He's watching Gaara,
Just
Sasuke and his how
really
fast he is.
push how fast Sasuke is going in comparison to Lee.
Hmm? Sorry, 1 second. I'm trying to read this chapter here.
You're reading chapters in the middle of our debate.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a scan.
This debate should be over.
Uh, anyway, sorry. What were you saying?
I was saying, why does that mean he can accurately proportion Sasuke's speed in comparison to Lee
Okay,
when he doesn't
so
have that knowledge on like whether or not he sees 1 feet? That does not mean it's an accurate statement. Why would that hold any validation?
he's okay. So I'll just say this. He watches as Guy watches as Sasuke blitzes. Sorry. Guy watches as Sasuke blitzes Gaara and then sees his speed and then says that his speed is almost as fast as Lee without his weights. Why? What? I'm not understanding what you're saying. Even if we say that it's a rough estimate, that would still mean he's relative to Lee without his weights. So that would still show that he got a lot faster and strong, like in general. So I don't see
Okay,
like why this would.
okay, yeah, then we can move on.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
can.
gonna read that.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay, so what's your answer? Is this all you're scaling? You just that one statement.
Basically, my scaling was that if I won this point, he would just inherently be above, like, yeah, that's basically all my scaling. He would just be below Neji as Neji is holding at a higher regard. And it's even stated later and in this specific moment that he's the strongest Genin if you lost his point. So, yeah,
What does it
we can
say in this specific moment?
conclude. our debate.
Yeah,
That's
so
basically
I
that.
could also just go off and say that he's stronger based on other reasons.
No, hold up.
Because we went on the
We've
whole
already
train
moved
on.
on from the point. Why are you trying to circle back again?
Because
You
if this
just
is your
said,
whole
do you have
scaling, then
any
if
other
this is your whole
scaling? No,
scaling,
yeah,
then I might as well
you
address it
can't.
more.
If you ask me for more, if you ask me if I have any other scaling, and then try to say, like, try to rebuttal my past
I never
scaling that I
agreed.
already
When did we
presented.
move on? I didn't.
You literally asked me, do you have any other
Yeah,
scaling
I
then?
asked you a question. How does that mean I moved on?
Hold
I
up a
asked you
second.
because
Can
if
anybody
you
let me
had
see?
more
Like,
scaling,
if you
I would
hold
go
up,
and
hold up,
address
hold up,
that.
hold up,
But
electric Ivy.
since this is your only scaling, I'll address it more. If
You
you had
don't
more, I
fine.
would address that. And
No,
then like,
because you keep on continuously circling back. But fine. What do you want to say?
so I'll just say that there's more reasons that Sasuke is also stronger in this scene, and that. Okay,
Hello.
let me just read the statement here. I don't think you're the strongest junior ninja is a member of my own team. Yeah, so it just says that he's the strongest at this instant, and we know uh, if that fight should amp you. So I'll just say that he gets stronger off his fight right here with Sasuke, and then when he trains his speed, he also gets a lot faster off that instance. So we can move on now. I don't know. Is that all you have? You want to go over like the gentle fist?
Gentle fist. You don't think gentle fist is doing egg?
Yeah, I'll just say that when even if Sasuke gets hit by the 64 palms, he'll just enter as like his curse mark state, which should give him like.
This curse mark states puts him into a state of pain where he can't even move for like tons of time. So if that curse mark state is activated, he'll just get finished by Neji, and Neji will just continuously finish him off. Like
Yeah,
what?
but
And
that's
even
when
if
he's
that,
trying to suppress it. When he's not trying to suppress it, like we see in the Forest of Death,
when is he shown to not to suppress it, and when is he shown to suppress it? Like when is he shown not
he's
to?
trying to suppress it in his fight with the Sound Ninja, and he's not trying to suppress it when he's like knocked out. He
No,
gets
he's
up. He
literally.
has
Why
his
does
speed.
suppressing it mean that the pain would go
Okay,
down?
so I would because he's forcing, like he's trying to force it away, which he's struggling to do.
Why does that,
And I
bro?
don't know. Listen, it doesn't always give him paralysis because he uses it in the Force of Death, and he's a lot faster and stronger than he does like in base, and he's not paralyzed. So, so I would just say that like when he's suppressing it, like he was trying to suppress it in his midair, so he's like
To the
trying to force it away, which I would just say like there's some sort of reason, and I would just say like when he's not trying to force it, and when he can't force it, it'll just like take over him, and it'll get like an amp. So it'll just be like actually this would just be a stronger Sasuke, even if he got
okay,
64 palms.
like please
Hmm? Pardon?
conclude.
Because like we know like we even know that like maybe even Orochimaru could pop out of his curse mark, because we know like his curse mark isn't like connected to like it's not his own, like he's only using his chakra to suppress it, but if it's like it's hard to explain, but like we know like Orochimaru's chakra is like in his neck and shit. So you could just say like even some like shit like where curse mark comes out even if he gets 64 palms.
We can move on.
You don't have any like rebuttal to that?
I've basically already stated it.
You why? You said it's paralysis, but then why wasn't
You
he
basically,
so
I did not
why
say.
wasn't he paralyzed in the
I
Force
said
of
he
Death
was
then?
hurting so much that he couldn't do anything. I said, can you prove? Basically, I'm saying everything you just said is irrelevant.
Why?
Basically, why? Basically, your argument was that when he's trying to suppress it, it hurts him. When he's not suppressing it, he can use its power. And even then, let's just say that you never skilled Curse Mark Sasuke.
I
His
would just
speed
I
nowhere right now, and this curse mark still uses chakra, so Neji would still neg its durability.
can you tell
So
me the
that would
curse
my
marks
win card
using
would still fall through, and that would not be a defeater.
okay, what I'm saying is that Eve. Okay, let me just repeat what I'm saying. I'm saying, let's say this.
You don't need to repeat yourself,
Yeah,
bro.
I
I heard
am because you're
art.
not understanding me. Here.
Why are
Let's
you?
say
No, if
Neji
I
hits
don't
him with the
understand, no, no,
64
no, hold
palms,
up,
right?
electric. I'm not understanding it. Just leave it up to judgment, okay?
I want to repeat this just for the judges, okay?
No, don't repeat it. This debate has been
I'm
an
going
hour.
to repeat it for the judges.
This should have been.
Yo, Justin was really out here trying to like this thing just go away. He just wanted to finish this debate, but it's like low key funny.
You should have
If
conceded 30
you
minutes
don't
ago.
stop interrupting me, it's gonna take long.
No, I'm telling you, this is just you're making this
It'll
debate
take
longer than it
30
has to
seconds.
be.
Why can't they just repeat this once? I'm gonna repeat it,
Because
okay?
that's 30 seconds too long out of my time. This big debate should have been over.
Okay, well I'm gonna.
You named
So,
5 irrelevant
what I
points
was
and then try to
saying,
circle back to these irrelevant points.
what I was
So
saying,
can we please just conclude on the debate and go?
let's assume Sasuke gets hit by 64 palms.
Oh.
Chakra is knocked out, right? And then we could say that what I'm saying right here is that the curse mark could potentially activate and overflow it, like what
So you're arguing
Naruto
from possibility.
what Naruto literally did,
No,
and
you're
overflow and
arguing from possibility. Hold up.
give him
You
more
said it
like
potentially
chakra in his
could,
hand.
right? It
We know that
potentially
the
could.
curse mark is its own chakra. It's not Sasuke's chakra. It's in itself.
Okay, it's his own chakra. He can block chakra points. That means that's like what? Are you saying the chakra isn't his? Are you saying that it's
I'm saying the
another
curse
entity?
mark's chakra isn't his. Like he has
But it's
access to the
still his
curse mark,
power that he
but
can
I'm saying the
use.
chakra itself isn't his because we know like when he's fighting Itachi, there's like statements saying like Sasuke is completely out of power. Out of chakra, and he's not suppressing the curse mark, and like we
Yeah,
see
you
like
are aware that when you get
Orochimaru comes
amped,
out
you
of
can
that.
get no. Hold up. Like this is even shown with like QB mode. When he runs out of chakra against Neji because his chakra points are halted, more chakra points keep on coming. More chakra keeps on flowing into these chakra points.
Yeah,
Whether
so
or not
now,
it's
yeah,
no,
exactly.
hold up.
What
Whether
I'm
or not
saying,
hold up. Whether or not it is his chakra, it's still flowing into his chakra points, which can still be blocked off by this 64 trigrams A
okay,
palms.
but I would just say this
So that would
depends.
just be
Okay, you're
irrelevant. Like
not
my win
listening to
con
my
still
final
falls through.
argument.
You're not rebuttaling it
You
anyway.
didn't let me finish my final thing. So what I was gonna say is a curse mark is an amp.
Same with QB mode.
Exactly. So I would just say
So,
even if he was
so my
what I'm
analogy
saying
would still
now
fall through
is
again.
let's say you won the point and that this Neji would be able to blitz and steal off Sasuke. Then Sasuke gets the curse mark. This would be a stronger Sasuke. So I'm saying that he still wouldn't. You would have to show me why he'd be able to blitz and hit the
Curse,
64
no,
palms to the
it's
Sasuke.
not really. I don't think Curse Mark is really an amp.
Why isn't curse mark an amp?
Because he only goes into Curse Mark once he loses all his chakra, so he just regains
No, we
chakra.
see him going into curse mark in his fight with Naruto. He
I
goes into curse
mean,
mark
why would that?
multiple
Hold
times,
up.
like his fight with
It's
Deidara.
further
It's even stated
to
that the
like
curse mark is a
Curse Mark
10 times
then. Why
amp.
would that apply to? What would that apply to this?
Hmm?
Ooh,
Sorry, what
ooh,
did you say?
I don't know why he brought up that, 'cause that's Coast Mark 2, and he doesn't even have that early in the series. He only has that at the very end, which wouldn't be tuning exams.
ooh, ooh,
Hello. Anyways, it's stated that the curse mark is like a 10 times multiplier. And whether you say that's curse mark 2 or curse mark 1 doesn't matter. We know Sasuke doesn't only use it when he's out of chakra because he uses it at the beginning of his fight with Itachi. He also uses it against Naruto in his fight in the Valley of the End and against Deidara. Like he's using it multiple times and he doesn't only use it when he's out of chakra. So I could just say that if he uses it now, like you just get a amp, which would just mean this Sasuke is different to the one that fought or the one that's like we're using in this debate. Okay. Like you said the curse mark doesn't amp you. Can you show me why it wouldn't amp you?
Can you show me why it isn't amp, bro? Or like, can you show the
Okay, I just
scans?
asked you to show me why it's not amped. You can just shift the burn like that.
What? That's not my burden to prove.
You
That's a
said the
negative.
curse mark. You
You have
said the
to
curse
prove.
mark
You
isn't
have
an
to
amp,
prove you're positive. I said it's not an amp. Why
and
is it an amp?
I'm
I'm going
asking
to
you
go
to.
back to the same
You
analogy I
never
gave
asked me
earlier in the
why it is
debate.
an amp.
That's like saying the Earth is me saying the Earth isn't round. I don't have to prove why it isn't round without any reasoning as to why it is round. I have nothing to disprove with this negative claim. You have to put something forward that is your positive to prove.
We literally see Sasuke get stronger in his curse mark. Like it's been shown that when he uses curse mark, he's stronger, and curse mark is an amp. Like that's the whole point. Like literally, the whole point why Orochimaru gave Sasuke the curse mark and why Sasuke went to Orochimaru is for the power and for the
Okay,
curse mark because
I
the
hear
amp.
your argument. I hear your argument.
Okay. So I don't see. You could show me why it's not an amp. Okay? Because I think I gave enough reasoning to show why it is an amp. Hello? Oh my god, you cut out again?
I just said we can move on. I already addressed that.
Okay, if you think you addressed it, we could move on. So, is that it? Is that everything? Is that a, we covered my scaling, your scaling, is that all? Right? We can just go on over final conclusions, that's it? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want me to start or do you want to start?
You.
Okay, so I believe, for my final conclusion over this whole debate, I believe I scaled successfully Sasuke over Neji, and gave enough reasoning to why his scaling would be false, and that statement, his only statement to support his scaling, is contradicted. Okay, you can go on over yours now. I want to keep it brief, because you said you have to go. Hello?
Okay. My conclusion basically is. Hold up a second. I'm responding to this retard baby trade.
Okay.
Okay.
I concede.
Anyways. Okay. So, basically my conclusion is on like for this like the entire debate. I just believe overall rhetorically dominant and stumped. His arguments were mostly irrelevant, just like they were just all over the place. Basically, my argument was Sasuke is like Neji is regarded to be the strongest genin, and it's even proven by feats such as Lee fighting him and stating this directly to Sasuke. Basically, he said, "Why would this apply to post times of Sasuke, where obviously gets stronger?" I said, "Why does he obviously get stronger?" I basically, I basically said, "Hold up a second."
Well, this man's mic keeps on cutting out,
Okay.
but it's mad annoying.
Hold up, sorry, I was responding to Baby Trey again. He really thinks Happy go to Kuros. That's crazy.
Happy B
Bro,
Cross.
who are your
Happy did beat
conclusions?
Kuros, in my opinion, but one debate
Okay,
does
can I
not
just finish this debate before you start talking super
like
fast?
Noodles has
I already
beat.
said I concede.
What?
Wait, Momo said you said the Momo did. Okay, anyways, okay. So what I was saying was, basically, I overall just rhetorically dominated and stumped on this last point. Basically, what we said was what we were arguing over was why Neji would be like the strongest Genin and is regarded by that. And I said Lee is, and he basically was saying, "Oh, this is a knowledge claim. He doesn't know at this point in time. He doesn't know how strong post time Sasuke is, who obviously gets stronger." I said, "Why is he stronger?" He said, "Well, he has Shidori." I said, "Shidori is just a temporary amp. Why does training for a jutsu mean you're inherently stronger, especially in general, like to normal Sasuke? Because it would be out of character for Neji to just let him charge up this Shidori. As we can see, the only reason he was allowed to charge up this Shidori is because Gaara goes into that shell. So that was just an irrelevant point and wouldn't really prove anything."
Okay, you
And then
never even
second,
brought up that point, though. Why are you going? You never brought up that
what?
point at all in
I
the
literally said the only reason he's allowed to charge up the Shidori is because
Bro,
he
wait, nigga, shut up. Wait, it's Justin's conclusion, bro. Let him conclude. Like, what the fuck?
That's the second time, bro.
Come on, like, it's his conclusion.
Okay. Well, I basically was saying, well, the only reason he like ever makes the Shidori is because he goes back onto the wall, charges it up for a minute while Gaara's in his shell, and then charges at him in a linear fashion, meaning he has to charge up this shit temporary amp, which Neji would not allow him to do. So basically, overall, I just believe I dominated this point, and he didn't really prove why Sasuke got stronger. So this statement and like Neji just being regarded as the strongest Genin would just still hold validation, whether or not this was post pre-time skip. So I believe I just overall won this entire debate, and he lost every point and just totally got dominated.
Damn.
Okay, you brought up so many points that you never even mentioned in our debate.
That's cat, bro.
Okay, I'm
Hold
gonna
up,
stop the
hold up.
recording. You have anything else to say?
Oh, just shut up. Did we just get a judgment?
No, I'm recording this whole thing. I'll send it to the judge, or if you want to judge him, go ahead. I'm gonna
Well,
stop recording. You have anything else
There's
to
no
say?
judge here? Oh my.
Well, I guess that's it for the debate. My final judgment, I'm gonna give this to Justin. Like he did say, he did have way better rhetorical. When it comes down to like electrics, what's it called? Electric scaling. His fullest point was just like what's it called? Sasuke above what's it called? Sasuke above fifth gate Rock Lee, which I do agree with, but I mostly believe that Justin defended that point a little better, and I think he won that point to be completely honest. Even if, in my opinion, he kind of ratted though, which in that case, in that circumstance, if he won that point, that would just like disrupt his entire scaling. And then for Justin, I think he just proved his scaling this way better. So overall, I'm gonna give this to Justin. I'm gonna let him move on in the Tiger Sage Army tournament. For the people that don't know, Tiger Sage Army is my server. The link for it would be in the description, like always, or you can legit just copy this vanilla link you see on the right side of the screen here. Discord.gg. It's got the sideline Tiger Sage, and you will get an instant invite to my server. And you guys ever want to debate me? I'm always in there. Just at me and we can run up a topic and I can code it and I can post it in YT. Overall, it was a good debate, but Justin won it. See you guys later.